We're good. I think we're in. Let's see. All right, I think we're in. Can everyone see us? Ian?
I have it up on my phone and it doesn't seem to be loading yet.
Okay, hold on. Let's see.
I don't know if that's just me.
Yeah, I see an on-air thing.
Does it say on air? Okay, let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see. Can you guys see us? I think Beth just said yay. This is our first time doing it.
That might be in comment. Oh, we're on.
We're on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for bearing with us, everyone in the chat. And to my lovely guests who have been such great sports already in this process, because this is my first time doing a live stream and we're using kind of a different program. So let us know if you notice anything big going wrong. But overall, I think we've sorted everything out. So I think we should be good. All right, so to start with, would everyone like to go around and say a little bit about themselves? You can just say who you are, what you like to write, what you're currently working on, where the people can find you, all that jazz. So let's start with, how about CK? You want to start since you have some big news for the day?
I would love to. Oh my god. Hi everyone, I'm CK Jensen. My friends call me Rin. I hope you'll also all call me Rin. I write sci-fi fantasy, and my book Witch's Blood is out today. It's out right now, and I am... Anyways, I'm really excited about it. I can't wait for you all to read it. Like, yeah, it's not real to me yet. Like, my author copies are all coming tomorrow. They're a day late, and it's fine. But yeah, if you want to check it out, you can check my like, the pages in, like, the description box, that's the word. Or you can, I'm CK Jensen, author on all platforms. You can go find my link tree, and there are links. Links are everywhere.
Yep.
That's it.
That's so exciting. I didn't realize it was today, right now. It is out.
Today, right now. Oh my god, yes.
Oh, that's exciting. I don't know how to follow that up, but I will Ash on authortube as well. I think down in the description you can see a link to my channel if you're curious. You probably can all of a sudden hear sirens in the background. Of course. Okay. No worries. There's like one road in my whole entire neighborhood, and so that's where the cops go. But I primarily write horror and gothic fiction. So that's kind of, what I like to write. And then on the side, sometimes a little contemporary romance.
Nice.
Okay, so I'm Saoirse, and you can also find my YouTube channel, I think linked down below. Sometimes I make videos and sometimes I stream. So you can come hang out if you want. And then I write mostly fantasy romance, and I'm working on draft 5 of my current project that I'm hopefully going to be publishing fall 2025. So I'm doing line edits, and I've like kind of set out like each day I'm going to do like 5 chapters. So I only have 3 left today. So hoping to get those done on the stream. Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting.
So you have 3 chapters left in the book, or 3 chapters left
No,
in
sorry.
today?
Just for the day. I have, I think like then there's 5 tomorrow and then 5 the next day. So like 13.
Okay.
If I can do math properly. Yeah.
That sounds right to me.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, that sounds great. Okay, well, thank you everyone for introducing yourselves. I'm gonna go ahead and ask if anyone in the chat wants to pop questions in, feel free to throw them in there. Also, Taylor just joined us. She said, hello, friends. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm gonna kick us off while you guys are thinking of some. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, there's a few people talking in the chat. So let's go to my icebreaker questions. And we'll start with CK. You can pick the first question, okay? So I'm going to take you over, and I'm going to have you pick a card, any card. You can pick left, middle, or right.
I'll do middle.
Okay. All right. were you given any yearbook superlatives in high school? Class clown, best smile, etc.
I was voted most likely to be carrying a book around.
Oh,
How fitting!
And my picture in the yearbook is me with a book.
How
That's
cute!
the page.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
I think I also was nominated for a different one, but I don't remember what it was because they only gave me one. Because you can apparently only have one superlative, which makes sense. But yeah, most likely to be carrying a book around.
Nice, very nice. I love that one. I don't think we had that one at my school. I wish we had. That's a cool one. What about Ash? Did you get any or were nominated for any?
I don't know if I've just like completely blanked about high school, but I don't remember having superlatives or a yearbook, but we had to have had a yearbook. So I'm just gonna say no.
Okay, fair enough. And I do not blame you at all if you blocked out high school. I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but I would be down to do that as well. So totally understand. What about, and Saoirse, I am trying to say your name right every time I say it, but just apologies if I don't say it well. Okay. So Saoirse and then CK. I'm sorry. I just have to ask real quick. CK, you said you like to be called Ren or Rin.
R-I-N.
R-I-N. Okay. I'm going to do my best this stream to do that for both of you. Okay.
Either one is fine.
Okay.
That's just like that's like my real name, and I started opening all my TikTok videos with my name is CK, but my friends call me Rin. I hope you'll call me Rin. It's like update to get people engaged.
Oh, I love that. Okay. I will try to remember though for both of you. So anyway, so Saoirse, go ahead. Did you have any superlatives?
Just real quick, just to help you out with the pronunciation.
Yeah.
So I do it Saoirse. So like if you think about like searing a steak.
Ooh, okay. That makes sense. Okay,
because
Saoirse.
some people do say Saoirse, like that is another way to pronounce it, like Saoirse Ronan, the actress, but
that's what I was thinking, like when I was thinking of how to pronounce it. Okay, I'm glad you told me. So Saoirse, like searing a steak. I can remember that.
Yes.
Nice.
But yeah, for the superlative thing, I definitely remember like voting on that. Like we had like a form that we filled out, we like voted on them, but I don't think we had enough for like everybody to get one, so I didn't have one, but I remember doing it. Like we definitely did it in high school. But
nice. Okay.
What about you, Evelyn? Did you have one?
I did actually. So I won most artistic and got runner up for best hair and most talented. But yeah, I was gonna try and like go to the next question before any of you asked me, because I was like, I'm gonna sound like such a mean girl or like a brat. I promise I wasn't. But yeah, I hung out with like all the artsy fartsy like the theater kids and stuff, you know, but yeah, so those were mine. But all right, let's go. Ash, do you want to pick the next card?
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Just because we haven't gotten any questions yet. If anyone in the chat wants to throw in a question, feel free. Otherwise, I came prepared. So let's see. All right, Ash, pick a card, any card.
The most left one.
Okay. Okay, where was your most unforgettable vacation?
Ew, that's hard. It's a toss-up between two that immediately came to my head. I will pick Japan.
Ooh.
Wow.
I really enjoyed Japan. I got to go to a little hedgehog cafe and hold little hedgehogs, and they were like set up in like little scenes, so they had like their own like little apartments. So that was really cute. I lost my phone, so I have no photos from it except for one of me licking like a crepe, and I'm so sad about it because like I have no like physical evidence of being in Japan, so I have to go back.
Yes.
But I got lost on a train and ended up going to Kyoto by accident. But it was a happy accident because at least I wasn't alone. I had a friend that was studying abroad there, and so she was like she was only there for like 2 months, and her Japanese got so good, so she was able to show us around. But yeah, just being in a very different country compared to the States was so much fun. Just really exploring other cultures and the food, and seeing how cheap food was when you can get the same food here, but way more expensive and not as good. So really enjoyed my time in Japan.
Oh, wow. I need to hear about, so wait, Hedgehog Cafe. You said hedgehog, right? I didn't like mishear something.
Yeah, I had a little hedgehog.
I mean, I didn't even know that existed. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but if they could have cat cafes, I guess you could have a hedgehog cafe, right? Like, why not? But
yeah, you wouldn't know. So like, imagine you're walking down the street and then there's just like a nondescript door on the side. It could be anywhere. It could go to anywhere. You open it and there's just this bright room full of like it's open in the middle, and then along the walls it's just a bunch of hedgehogs in little glass homes.
wow. I mean,
very cute.
I love it. I feel like that should be in a book somewhere that you write, you know?
Maybe.
That'd be a good meet cute.
Oh my god. That's what I was about to say.
Oh, don't give me ideas. Hold on.
Just
I'll get my notebook out.
Like, what if there's two people, okay? Whatever your preference is, okay? Like, you know, but two people, they both want to hold the same hedgehog because they just love the scenery in its tank or whatever. And so then they start to like argue over who should get to hold the hedgehog. And then they're like, we'll share it. We can sit together and like share the hedgehog. You know, I don't know, but it just sounds really cute, doesn't it?
And there weren't a lot of people there. So it definitely feels like it could be like an intimate environment in a sense. Like, it was just me, one other guy, his mom. So it was just like really just two groups of people, me and then them, and then the person that was in charge of it. So it could, yeah. Oh, okay.
Just saying.
Love a book idea.
This is turning into like a writing group already. You know? Yeah. Just saying. All right. Now, Saoirse, would you like to pick the next question? Or wait, hold on. Sure. I forget we need to go around the circle. My bad. Sorry, I was jumping the gun. Saoirse, where is your most memorable vacation?
I feel like this sounds so boring now after Ash went. I went to London and Paris like after I graduated high school, and that was probably like the coolest thing because that's like outside of like the US and Canada and Mexico. Like, I haven't been to any of the other like continents and stuff. So that was, yeah. That's
nice.
That's cool. Europe is great.
There were no
I don't know.
hedgehog cafes though, so
it's okay. Go to Japan now. Yeah, you have to add Japan to your like, you know, desired destinations for the future, you know. But all right, CK, where's your most memorable vacation been?
Probably Greece. I went there. I was in high school and I did like an academic competition, and the second round with the world round was in Greece.
What?
And that was so cool. I got to see so much like architecture. We did like a tour around Athens. It was like, and then we went up the coast to the Temple of Poseidon and somewhere. Honestly, kind of felt like almost felt like I was in Mamma Mia. Like, not quite, but so close. Mamma Mia adjacent, because it was Greece and the water was so blue. It was so gorgeous. And the food was so amazing. Like, spanakopita is my new favorite food ever, and I can't get good spanakopita in the US.
Oh, I've had some here in New Zealand, and now I need to know what it's like in actual Greece. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The hotel had like this breakfast buffet every day. And I didn't even know what it was called then. I didn't learn because like it was all in Greek.
Wow.
So it was like in Greek script. And then I actually learned the name of it when I saw it at Trader Joe's, which Trader Joe's is a pretty okay spanakopita, but it's like, it doesn't live up to the memory, you know?
So can I ask, because just FYI, I eat like a 7-year-old, okay? I'm like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, I had pie for the first time like a year ago, okay? Like, so what is, you're saying copita, Spanish copita? What's it?
Spanakopita.
Spanakopita.
It's like a spinach pie.
Okay.
It's like, if you know phyllo pastry, it's like really flaky layered pastry.
Okay.
And then spinach and like feta in it, and it's so good.
That sounds good. Now I can picture it much better. I was like, I have no clue like what this could possibly be, so I need to ask for clarification so that I could like picture it, you know? Oh, and Sarita says, wait, sorry, have I been under a rock? Did you just say you're in New Zealand, Ash?
Yeah, I am. Exciting news. Probably no one's gonna care, but I just got my residency like last week, so I'm so happy. Now they can't kick me out. So I'm very, very happy.
Nice, very nice. That's awesome news. Have you, by the way, like, isn't in New Zealand, isn't that where like the trail to Mordor? You can like hike the trail to Mordor there. Yeah, that's like on my bucket list is to go
It's
to
on mine too. One day I'm gonna make it to Auckland, I believe, and do that.
Nice. If you go before me, you have to tell me if it's worth the trip. Okay, you have to let me know.
I'll be telling everybody. So
it'll be like you gotta vlog it. That's what you gotta do. Let's see. Okay. And Sarita said, "Oh my gosh, yay! Congrats." All right, let's do one more question, and then we will spin the wheel and get into some sprints, etc., etc. Okay, does that sound good? So we'll let Saoirse pick the next question. Because Saoirse, you're the only one that hasn't done one yet, right? CK and Ash both did one. Okay. All right. Saoirse, pick a card, any card.
I'll do the right one.
Okay. I love that you each picked a different one. Okay, what is the last movie that made you cry?
Now I'm like, what movie have I seen?
I need to like look at Netflix to see what I watched recently.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, I feel like anyone who likes to write, you probably consume stories in all forms. So, like, you probably do watch a lot of, like, TVs and movies, or like, TV movies.
I honestly don't watch a ton of movies.
Oh, really? Making me eat my words right away.
I watch a lot of TV shows that I've already seen as like, like comfort ones. Mm-hmm. And I don't usually pick movies because I'm always looking for like something that's like more, 45 minutes. So I take a nice break instead of sometimes. Now I'm like, what was the last thing in general that made me cry? I can't remember.
You could go way back to like who doesn't cry at like The Notebook? Have you seen The Notebook at some point in your life? You could go.
Not in a really long time.
Yeah.
Man, I can't remember.
That's okay. We can come back to you too, Saoirse, if you need time to think on it.
Actually, I need to remember what movies I've watched in the recent months or whatnot. Yeah, you got to take a note out of CK's book and start like going through your watch history. Yeah.
I went through my watch history and I found next to nothing. I don't watch movies either. I'm so sorry. I don't even watch TV very much. But I did see, and I suggested a movie I've already seen that did make me cry, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Oh, I have that on my watch list. Like, I want to watch it. I haven't seen it yet.
It's so good. Like, the writing is incredible, and like it's just a fresh take on Pinocchio. And like I'm really into fairy tale retellings. Like we all know this. And it's so sad. Like the way that Geppetto just is like trying so hard to like bring his son back to life, and then like Pinocchio gets stuck with like a resurrection curse, basically.
Ooh. Oh
my god, it's so good. You should all watch it. I watched it. I think Hello Future Me had a video essay that like heavily focused on it. It was his bringing characters back from the dead video, and it was, oh my god, it was so good.
What was the name of the creator you just mentioned who did a video essay?
Hello Future Me.
Yeah, I've never heard of. I have to.
Really?
Yeah.
He does like amazing video essays. You would love them because he's a writer. He has like his book series on writing and world building. Ooh. And they're like in-depth like dives into media and different like writing and world building topics. You should check him out.
I'm literally writing it down in my notes app as you speak. Like, I love video essays. Excellent. Yeah, I feel like I don't branch out enough on YouTube. I feel like I've gone down a deep like authortube rabbit hole, and now I almost like can't get out. Like, it's all authortube, and I watch a lot of Disney vlogs, like Disney World vlogs, so I have a lot of that in there. But yeah. By the way, Miles says, is it bad that mine is probably Barbie Mariposa? I never saw that movie.
That's iconic.
Have you seen it? I haven't seen that. I never really watched the Barbie movies growing up. Like,
I haven't seen that one specifically, but I'm not mad about that. Like, I think you should cry to Barbie movies, honestly. I think you should cry. I cry to like every movie I watched, though. I just don't remember what I watched because I don't watch movies.
Fair enough. That's fair. Oh my gosh. And now people are saying, there's a few people saying we're going to get the Wheel of Doom, but I do have to tell people, okay, I do have to give the disclaimer up front. I'm going to keep the Wheel of Doom sliver on the wheel, obviously, but I don't think, even if we land on it tonight, we're not going to do the Wheel of Doom just because I want to spend time with you guys, with my buddies on here, you know? And if we do the Wheel of Doom and get like an hour long, well, we still may get an hour long, but like if we get anything over an hour, it's going to majorly cut into my time to get to know you all and like share you all with everyone on YouTube. And I don't want to do that. So the Wheel of Doom will not apply to like group streams. Yeah. But you can come back another time and possibly get the Wheel of Doom. I'm shocked that people want that. I mean,
people like chaos.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. Miles also said, oh, Saoirse, you and I are kindred spirits. Let's see.
Because of the not watching movies part?
I think so.
Okay. I'm glad it's not just me.
Yeah. Oh, and then Christina says, I don't think a movie ever made me cry. Maybe tear up, but not actual crying.
Mm.
I'm in the middle of The Wild Robot right now, and it's like made me tear up, and it's not even at like it's not even at the big part that I know is going to make me cry. I don't know what the big part is, but someone mentioned it at book club, and like, oh, the end made me sob. And I don't cry at movies. So anyways, Wild Robot is my current watch. It's taking me at least a week to get through it already.
I hear that it is brutal. It makes like everybody cry. That's what I've heard.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they just added it to Netflix, Ash, if you look for it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I also
really
avoid things that are sad too. If I know that they're sad, I'm not watching it or reading it.
Usually same. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Saoirse, you and I are not the same. I love things that make me cry.
Listen, I cry enough on my own. I don't need other things.
I do, but like that's like a problem that's solvable. Like that sadness ends. Mine does not. That's a dark. I'm sorry.
No. Y'all are good. So Tia actually says the last time I cried was watching the Arctic Tale. Have you all heard of that one? I haven't heard of that.
No.
Very interesting. I'm gonna have to look it up after the stream. I definitely want to see what it is. Miles says I didn't watch them growing up either. I think talking about the Barbie movies. Okay, Christina agreed. People are agreeing about holding off on the Wheel of Doom.
That makes sense.
Miles says, what's it like to not cry at every movie you watch? And Ian also says, I don't think I've cried during a movie, but I did cry writing my own book. How freaky is that? I feel like that makes total sense. Aww. That's very understandable. And it probably means your writing is really, really good. So
on my newest project, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good, CK. Go for it.
My newest project, I'm keeping a cry count in the notes on the sidebar on Scrivener. I am 6,000 words in and I've cried 3 times.
Oh my gosh.
I kind of love that though. Yeah, as long as it's not crying over like the writing process.
No, it's crying because like this is a sad story. It's called Project Death, and the main character like kills herself in the first scene.
Oh so man.
It's like I that was actually not the part I cried during, but like it's rough. It's a rough book.
Oh my gosh, it sounds rough. It kind of reminds me of
how it starts off. Like,
yeah, if that's the first like chapter. Do you guys ever remember watching? I don't think I ever watched it just because I thought it'd be like really, like triggering. But Lizzie McGuire or Hilary Duff did a movie a while back. And it was about, she decided she was going to kill herself at 18 Did you ever hear about, oh my gosh, so I feel like some of you are looking at me like, what the hell are you watching on your own time? But it was something like she was like, yeah, I'm gonna like kill myself at 18 because life isn't worth living past then. And then she meets a guy who like changes her whole perspective on life and she doesn't do it. Anyways, okay, I shouldn't have brought
I'm looking this up now.
I forget what it's called, but I swear there's one that's like
to Greta?
That sounds right.
Interesting. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I don't think it was like
anything besides Lizzie McGuire.
I know. I don't think it was one of her more popular movies or anything. But let's see. Oh, Dami says, by the way, a cry count while drafting is kind of incredible. I agree.
Thank you.
Oh, and Tia clarified that the Arctic Tale is a documentary about Arctic animals and there were babies. And then she says, I was not prepared for what happened to them.
Oh.
Not watching that.
Nope. Yeah, and a lot of people are agreeing that like a good documentary will get you. And then Sarita says, I love how you led with Lizzie McGuire, not Hilary Duff. Yeah, that took a minute for my brain to like buffer to be like, no, what's her real name, you know?
I'm not gonna lie, you like start with Lizzie McGuire and I was like, I don't know, how does this relate to my thing? And then you change the action, like, okay, that makes a little more sense.
Yeah, sorry, that probably threw you through quite a loop at
like,
first.
It's all good. I'm here to be
People are gonna watch this stream and be like, what is happening? We are all over the place, but I love it. See, this is like what I was hoping to kind of get with the group streams. Like, I love this vibe. It's like chaotic but awesome. So okay, did we all say the movies that made us cry? Or like not cry? I think a lot of you didn't really have answers, right?
I have an answer. The last movie that made me cry was Sinners, but it was not like a sad cry. At the very end, at the very end, it's not a spoiler, there's just like a certain musician who shows up in the movie, and I had been to that musician's restaurant in real life, and so it was more of like a nostalgic kind of cry, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that like this person is in the movie and I've been to his restaurant and like met his daughter and stuff. So it was not a sad cry, but like a wow kind of cry.
That's awesome. Almost like a I'm so proud of them kind of cry.
Yeah, except, yeah, I would say so.
Because I feel like you can be proud for people without being like best buds. You know, you can still think like, oh, how cool for them, you know, to have this opportunity.
Yeah.
By the way, Christina says, yes, Ash, in all caps. Yeah, there are a few people that are like Sinners, which I still haven't seen it, and I really need to go see it. I went and saw the theater near me did a one night only Pride and Prejudice. Like they brought it back in theaters. And so I went and saw that like the same week Sinners came out. And I just don't go to the movies that much. So I kind of felt like I had used up my movie night on that. And then I was like, damn, do I push myself to go see Sinners again? Or like, do I wait for it to come to streaming? But I'm definitely going to watch it for sure.
Yeah, it was a fun movie.
Yeah. I hear the music in it is pretty incredible, like overall. Yeah, Christina says the whole movie really.
That's a scary one though, right? Or no?
I think it's like a thriller, right? More
it's like a horror, but like not, it's, you know, it's not scary. It's just more like, I mean, depending on how scary you find vampires, I guess.
Love them. I love a good vampire.
Vampires are they sexy? Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like, they look cool.
Okay. Maybe I'll watch
Isn't, I mean,
it's
Michael
not scary.
Michael B. Jordan is like one of the main ones, right? Or is he?
Yeah, he's the lead. He plays his own twin. So he's in it twice. You just gotta see the movie.
Okay.
I will say too, I took film appreciation last semester when it came out, and my teacher came on and was like raving about it. So I feel like that's pretty high praise if he came in and he actually extended one of our Zoom classes by like 20 minutes just for people to sit and talk about it that had gone and seen it at that point. So it's pretty high praise. Yeah, Christina says, well, by the way, Tia says, I still haven't seen it either. And then Christina says, it's gory because it's got vampires. Stu says, I haven't watched it either. but I feel like you definitely should. I feel like it got rave reviews, so I definitely plan to watch it when it comes to streaming for sure. I will add that I don't know if any of you saw on Netflix Sirens yet. It's like it's a series. But when I tell you I like bawled my eyes out at the last in the final episode, I mean, it was so good. But it wasn't what I expected it to be. That made me like really cry hard, I will say. Not sure if anyone in the chat has seen that. I may be on an island of my own here, but it was very, very like moving. So, Miles says, I spent all day looking for a specific scene in a movie and I finally found it. Congratulations. I know how that feels. I used to make like TikToks with little movie clips and it would take forever to try to find like the little snippets you need. Christina says, oh, Sirens is on my list. LOL, I watched the first episode. Yeah, it's really good. Sarita says, I saw the trailer. And then Stu says, LOL, my mom told me to watch that. I mean, it's good for moms too, I guess, you know? Miles says, I saw the teaser trailer on the teaser on Netflix. Looked pretty good. Yeah, it's really good. It was just very moving. Like, I think especially if you have sisters, it's like very poignant, I guess. All right, so we've all done a question. Are we ready to spin the wheel and get into a sprint? How are we feeling? Yeah? Okay. We'll bring our good vibes over to the wheel and see what happens. Here we go. Let's see.
This is so thrilling.
Isn't it? It's the suspense, right? 20 minutes. Okay, I feel like that's good. All right, so we'll do a cute 20-minute, like, this is like a warm-up, right?
Yeah.
We'll just do a quick 20-minute warm-up, and then we'll come back and chat just a little bit more. Maybe we'll keep our next chat break, like, a little shorter, just since it's a short sprint. How do you guys feel about that? Feel okay?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, because I know you all came in with, like, goals. The three of you came in with some things you want to get done too, so
Yeah.
Wait, real quick, should we say what our goals are just for funsies?
yeah, I'm totally into that. Let's
I can go first.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was about to sacrifice CK again. I feel like CK, because you have such a big day today, you're gonna be my like sacrificial lamb, where every time I'm just gonna be like, all right,
That's
CK,
okay.
kick it off.
I'm happy for that.
Okay, good.
I need to get at least 750 words today to meet my base goal, but my good goal is like 750 words to meet my like 860 words. I already have 110. Then it's my better goal is to reach 1,000, and my best goal is, I don't know, icing on the cake. But
Okay.
I'm trying to do 100k words in 100 days, so I need to be averaging 1,000 words a day.
Wow. Love that.
Scary.
Yeah. You can do it though, I believe.
Things.
All right, let's go in reverse order. So let's hit Saoirse next. You kind of told us your goal for today, but if you want to give another quick like overview in case anyone came in late.
Yeah. So I'm line editing my draft right now, and my goal for the day has been like the past couple of days to do like 5 chapters a day. So I have 3 left today. It would be great if I could also do a few more just to, get through a larger chunk, but yeah.
Nice. And Ash, do you have a goal for today?
I do. I am trying to get 2,000 words a day because I've got very influenced by people making videos on, I think it's called 185 Insane. And so you take your word count goal and then you like add 1,000, I think is what it was. So I'm doing trying to do 2,000. Failed yesterday, but it's fine. It's more than I would have done because I already did over 1,000 yesterday. So technically I hit my original goal. So today, trying to get another 1,300 words to hit my 2,000, and then just hopefully can do some outlining for a different project after that.
Nice. Okay, solid. I feel like I did not come in with a goal. I feel like very underqualified right now to be leading the stream, but I will say I finished my chapter 8 the other day. I have rewritten it 3 times to get it to the point that it's at now, and I'm finally satisfied. So I'm just excited to kind of start my chapter 9. Like, I have a pretty thorough outline, so I know what needs to happen, and for me, I feel like I just need to just get it started and kind of get momentum going, you know? And then I can maybe come back from this sprint with a goal, you know? But yeah, I feel like I'm much more loosey-goosey today. My goal today, in all honesty, was just to get everyone on the stream successfully. In all honesty. So yeah, and that worked. So to me, everything else is gravy at this point. So let's see. Margot says, I'm hoping to use this sprint to just get reacclimated to my project. Yeah, see, I feel like that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, I spent so much time on chapter 8, I almost need to like move out of that headspace a little bit. You know, I need to jump into chapter 9 so I can like forget about chapter 8 for a little bit. Totally empathize with that. All right, that being said, I'm going to put a cool 20 minutes on the clock. All right. Everyone will see it up in the top right corner. Okay. And for my guests, just know I will let you know when it's over if you don't hear the alert sound. Okay. Everyone else, you'll hear the song. All right. Here we go. I'll see you all on the other side of 20 minutes. Best of luck. Okay. Did you all see that the sprint ended? I feel like most of you saw it ahead of time, but just in case you didn't. Let's see. Let me get this alert fully turned off. I almost didn't play the alert because I was like, I feel like we're all back. But Ian loves that alert, so I kept it mostly for him. Let's see. All right. I think we're okay. All right. By the way, Ian said, God, we're supposed to be writing. All I did was contemplate a marketing strategy. Write the books first, Henderson. And then Tia said, Ian, same. Oh my God.
Literally same though.
How did that sprint go for you guys? I know it was a short one, so.
Just really good for me. I love a short sprint because then I can't get distracted with other things. Like when I do an hour sprint, I did one the other day. I'm like, oh, I can get up. Let me get some food. Let me get something to drink. Let me, make a little plant. Like, but 20 minutes is not enough time to do all of that. So I just sat here and just wrote for the whole time. So
nice. Yeah, I empathize with that. I feel like I do the same thing sometimes when we get the bigger sprints. And then before you know it, like you've gotten up to go to the bathroom, get a drink. I let my dog out. And then you're like, oh, crap, the sprint's like halfway gone.
yeah.
So totally. How was it for you, Saoirse?
It was good. I got a chapter edited. So then I started the next one.
Wow.
Nice. That's really good for 20 minutes.
It's a short chapter, to be fair, and it was one that I had already taken quite a few looks at, I think, in previous drafts, so it didn't really need too much, but
okay, nice. Very nice. How was it for you, CK?
For me, it was pretty good. I got just over 500 words, which is like, I feel like really good for a 20-minute sprint.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm only like 200 words off from my goal now. So I'll definitely get it next sprint, which is really good, and I'll probably get the up to 1,000 words next sprint.
Wow.
Not like 1,000 words in the sprint, but like I'll get my.
You'll hit your goal.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's awesome. Miles said they got 89 words, just having a little bit of fun with the narrator MC dynamic.
Oh.
Nice. Let's see. Oh, and Ian says, Beth found the name of the song. Almost Here. That's the one. 2016. I think you're close, Ian, but none of my songs are called Almost Here. But you're close. I'm going to find it for you, Ian. I'll just tell it to you one day. I promise. I'll figure it out. I only use like 6 songs, so I'll find it. It's one of the 6. Christina says, got 38 words into this new chapter. Hey. Every word counts. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's great. That's awesome. And I also feel like starting a chapter is one of the hardest places to be, in all honesty. I feel like you have to really get into the groove before the word counts start, like, getting higher, Beth says, I have an extension in Chrome that can identify songs and videos, so it was easy. I mean, look, maybe that is the song, Like, maybe I'm the one that's wrong, but I don't think it's Almost Here. But maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Margot says, I read through the next chapter that needs to be cleaned up. Very good. Margot, what draft are you on? Are you on a second draft or third draft? Beth said, Beth got 542 words in 20 minutes. I never know with Beth, like, if she's going to come in, she could have gotten like 10,000 words in that 20-minute sprint, and I would not be surprised. Ian says it literally sounds the same. Haha. It probably is the same song. Like, honestly, Stu says, I'm just cooking. LOL. I feel like when I do these, nighttime streams, they tend to fall during people's dinner time a lot of the time. So that's not uncommon for people to kind of step away and make dinner real quick while watching, but that's too funny. Let's see. Oh, Margot says on draft 2.5, cleaning up the brackets left behind from draft 2. I was going to ask you all, do you all use brackets? I know some people do and some people don't, like to go back to difficult like sections.
I
usually
see Saoirse
don't.
shaking her head.
Yeah.
I use them religiously.
Because I hate going back to it and seeing it. Like, I have one bracket in book 2 so far, just because there was like one tiny thing that I was like, oh, I need to double check like what happens in book 1, just to, you know, but it's like the time, but I can't do, sorry, my dog is here.
No, you're all good.
I can't do like the bigger brackets or just leaving out whole chunks of things. Like I need to figure it out now.
Yeah.
I use them, but only like in the moment, and then I'll like when I finish the scene, then I'll go back and like get rid of it. So it's not like I'll leave it and then go to a whole nother draft and then like, you know. So I use them, but they get taken care of pretty quickly.
Gotcha. It's nice. I feel like, so CK, I want to hear more. You said you use them religiously because I'm curious. I feel like we're all on different like places on the spectrum of like using brackets. So I'm curious to hear, like, so CK, you said you use them a lot?
Yeah, like if I don't know how to like wrap up a scene, I'm not going to get stuck on the scene right there. Because often I feel like in my writing, like if I don't know how to wrap up the scene, I will come back to it and have a clear idea on another day. So I'm not like resolving them quickly like Ashes, but I use them all the time. Like I thought I named the mermaid city in this book. I don't think I ever named it. So every time I try to refer to it, I just put bracket city, close bracket. And so I will just find a replace that bracket with whatever I decide to name it, but I use them all the time.
That makes total sense.
I don't believe in getting stuck when writing. Like if I'm sitting down to write, I will, because like drafting and problem solving are two different things in my brain. If that makes sense. So if I'm drafting, I'm not going to problem solve because that will ruin the drafting energy.
Gotcha.
Well, see, I don't like, for me, I don't use them like, I think people use them when they get stuck on stuff, and I guess I just don't, not to say I don't get stuck, but I don't get stuck in that way. Like, how do I describe it? It's just like you were saying, like you use them at the end of the scene, whereas like I'll just take a stab at it, and if it's not what I want later, I'll fix it. Does that make sense? Instead of like I don't overthink especially my first drafts. I do not overthink my writing. Like, and you could tell if you were to read it, you'd be like, oh yeah, you definitely don't. Like, I just throw words up there. I overthink later. Like right now, I am overthinking. Draft 5, Saoirse is overthinking.
Fair. I feel like, I don't know, I kind of like what you said, CK, about just kind of moving forward, because I do get stuck. And then I get in this trap of, well, if this isn't perfect, then I can't go on. But then eventually you move on, and it's not like it was perfect anyways, because you'll have to fix it once you finish the whole story. So I think, yeah, brackets I could probably use them more just so I could get through scenes a bit faster. But yeah, I think it just depends on if you're able to just come up with something to be happy with for the moment, or if it's like really holding you back.
Yeah, like whatever gets you unstuck and whatever gets you to keep writing the words.
For sure. I just think momentum is such a huge part of my writing process. Like if I have momentum, I want to keep that forward movement. So brackets help me do that. But like obviously no shade or shame to anyone who doesn't use brackets or anyone who does. Like personally, they're great for my writing process, and then like I way overthink it in the moment, but then I come back, I'm like, this is not a big deal. Here's the answer right now. Like just like letting it percolate in the back of my head is really good for me.
Yeah. I feel like I use them especially for names. Like CK, you were saying you use them for like city names. I use them a lot for like especially like background characters who aren't gonna appear much, you know, like I'll actually name them in the moment, but I still use the brackets to remind myself, like, go back and make this name like make more sense in this story and like blend in better. Because like, for example, I just did that with someone's name and I just put Charles. And I'm like, that's not gonna work, but for now it works, right, as like a placeholder. But I do feel like I try not to use them for full scenes because I think Hannah, I don't know if any of you like follow Hannah on YouTube, but she said when we were talking about brackets, it's hard because a lot of her writing feels cumulative, where if you don't know what's happening before, it can be really hard to like build on that going forward. So that's kind of how I feel with like, I don't mind using them for maybe like action scenes where you have to write out kind of like choreography, like that sort of thing, as long as you know in the end like how it's going to end up. But anything else, I struggle with that. But also, like, if you guys have ever seen my streams, you know, like, I am like a way overthinker on the front end. Like, my outline is just really overkill. So I actually have like the reverse problem. I overthink like a lot on the front end. And then when I'm in the story, I actually think it's harder for me to like be in the moment and pants from like plot point to plot point, you know, and just let the story like lead me. I actually think I struggle with that more than like kind of knowing where everything's going, if that makes sense. Yeah. But that's cool that we're all on different, you know, we all have different ways of looking at that. Ian says, I do not use brackets. It's impossible, in my opinion, see his, though, he says for a murder mystery. And that's what, you know, that makes sense.
I agree. Yeah. I would not use the brackets in a murder mystery, but I just write silly little romantic stories, and I feel like I can like I use the example of like putting it at the end of a scene because I just had to do that, where I was like, well, they just had like this really cute scene, and like their friends just came in to like join them, and I'm like, I don't know how to end this and have it be like satisfying right now. But like I'll go back to it when I do the revisions. I'm like, oh, either we can like phase it out nicely, or I'll have an idea for another scene that goes there. But right now, I don't know. So I just moved to the next part that was like working for me. But I've been experimenting with non-linear drafting, so I think that's another reason why it maybe works for me better.
Ooh, how do you like that? I've heard of people doing that, and I'm like, I don't think I could ever. There are people that say they write out their favorite like scenes first and then go back.
Yeah, I don't do my favorite scenes first.
Okay.
That would ruin the book for me, because then I would not write any other scene.
Facts.
But I do write. So we did this in my capstone class at university for my creative writing minor, where we had logistically in a class of 20 writers, you cannot each write a novel and read each other's novel in the semester, because that means you're reading 20 novels that semester and at the same time as you're writing one. So logistically, it made sense to do a first chapter and then 3 key scenes. So, and like looking at and this is something that I think my professor got from the book Refused to Be Done by Matt Bell, which is a really great writing craft book. I follow his Substack now. The Matt Bell Substack, not my professor's. But basically you have like books have like islands, like key scenes that are like pivot points or just like important parts. And I think since I wrote Dawnless in that class, and Dawnless I think is one of the best books I've ever written, like that theory has really made a lot of sense for me. Like I don't do a lot of outlining. I'm not really a planner. But if I have my key scenes and I have like those points on a map to go to, it works really well for me. And sometimes I usually don't draft like the key scenes like way out of order like I did when I did with Dawnless. But I think, sorry, I feel like I'm talking a lot.
No, you're all good.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I love it.
I think that being able to identify scenes that will happen later down the line and at least have a couple like bullet points for them is really helpful for me as like a planster type person. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I was like in the middle of the weeds, and I was like, I don't know if I'm making any sense right now.
No, you made total sense to me, at least. It makes a lot of sense, that picture of like going from island to island. Like you plan out the islands first, and then you're kind of just bridging the gaps afterwards.
Yeah. So I'm not like, and I do think you should generally draft linearly, because I think if you don't draft like most of your novel linearly, you lose a lot of that cause and effect and that synchronization that's really important in a novel. So yeah, I personally would not recommend anyone do their entire novel out of order and then jigsaw puzzle it together. But I do think you can do a little bit of non-linearness. Like if one scene is really giving you a lot of trouble, jump to the next one. Yeah. I'm not a purist by any means.
Hey, I think whatever works, and I genuinely believe that like this is an art, and like people are going to approach it differently, and you have to do whatever like stokes your own creativity. So I think, and I also think it's really cool, CK, to hear that you're like experimenting with like, or you tried different ways of writing, because I think that's important too. Like you're never going to know what works for you if you don't try different strategies, you know? There might be a better strategy out there that you've never heard of, you know? So it's really cool. That's like another great thing about these group streams, I feel like, is you get to hear different opinions from different people. And then the viewers can kind of pick and choose and be like, oh, I've never thought of that. Like, let me apply that to my writing and different things. So very cool. Miles says brackets are my best friend. And Beth says it's literally 27 words per minute. I can type up to 80 words per minute so long as my brain is flowing. Wow. Props. Yeah, that could not be me. I write so slow. I think I got like 112 words in our last sprint. So Margot says it's just me and brackets against the world.
Yes, that's the energy. And also Stu's next comment is that I love my bracket gap filling later.
Oh my god.
Like, yeah, they get it.
Yeah.
They're the girls who get it. Sorry, guys.
Oh my gosh. I love...
Like, where are the people that are like me? Don't use them.
I feel like they're out there. They're out there,
must be out
Saoirse.
there somewhere. They're just barely not on the stream.
Yeah. Like I said, I think Hannah's like you, Saoirse. I think she said she doesn't use them. So, LOL,
Right.
Beth, oh man. So I got to do is get my brain to work because the typing fast is the thing I got easy. Yep. Okay. Beth says I very, very rarely use brackets, but it does happen.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, and Beth is stepping away for a minute to cook dinner, so she says, I hope I'll be back for the next sprint. You will be, because we're going to hop into another one really soon here, because that last one was pretty short. So Christina says, yeah, seems like I'm like Hannah in that way with brackets. It's hard for me not to know what's happened in my draft. So you're like Hannah and Saoirse. And Ash, you don't use them much, you were saying, like... You really don't use them, right?
It's more like a placeholder while I'm writing a scene, and then before I go to the next, I usually have figured out enough to be able to get rid of that bracket.
Yeah. So you like to like tie up your scenes with a bow before moving on to the next one.
Yeah, at least some kind of idea. Like Saoirse was saying, like just I can change it in the next draft if I don't like it, but I want to put something in there for the moment that I can use to feed my next scene usually.
Yeah, it makes sense. Stu says, oh, I don't draft in order, LMAO.
Yes, there is chaotic.
Really? I'm like, I mean, I only just heard about this where people were like, yeah, sometimes I start with like all my favorite scenes and then do all the rest. And I'm kind of like CK where I was like, I can't imagine. I feel like I would lose kind of my, I don't want to say like my passion for the story, but it'd be like getting all the fun stuff out of the way up front, you know? I feel like that'd be kind of hard.
Yeah, you have to like dangle the carrot, so to speak, to make you write the connecting scenes. Yeah, I'm the same way.
I totally agree. McKenna says, I think I might try drafting out of order. Get the things out of my head so I can figure out how to get there. More power to you, McKenna. Yeah. Good for you. I mean,
talk to me about it. I would love to talk to you more about non-linear drafting.
Yeah. Definitely ask CK because I don't think any of the rest of us have tried it. So
I thought about
it, but it does not work for me.
Doesn't work for you, Saoirse? Yeah, and Ash tried it. Let's see. Sarita says, I started doing non-linear and it was kind of fun, but then I procrastinated the start too much, so I stopped. Yeah, very real. And, you know, I hear that the beginning is typically the part. I was watching one of Brandon Sanderson's like interviews that he did, and he was saying that most authors completely scrap their first chapter and rewrite it once they finish their book. And so, yeah, I feel like putting off the beginning, it's so tempting to do that, but I feel like you need to have something there as a jumping off point. Yeah, and I can actually, I do feel like when I did my beginning in my outline, it took me forever to figure out how I wanted to start my book, but I'm very content actually with my beginning as of right now. But that was one of the hardest parts to plot, I feel like. Margot says, 0 draft out of order, almost backwards. Wow. Respect. I mean, I have heard of people going backwards, especially in like true crime or like,
right.
You know, like that makes sense for that. Let's see. Oh, but Margot says, but also I had an outline. Okay.
Yeah, like I'll outline almost backwards, if that makes sense. Like I'll
start with the end.
Where I want it to end, and then I'll kind of start with the beginning and then kind of work my way to a middle point.
That makes sense.
Yeah. No, that does make sense. Sarita says, yeah, I also had an outline and was like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Oh my God, I could never. I could never. I mean,
that sounds like fun, honestly. Too bad I never outline.
I feel like CK, you are so mellow. Like, I just love your energy. You're like, yeah, I'll give it a try. Like, sounds cool. And I'm like, that would give me a heart attack.
I've written too many books at this point to not be open to trying new methods, because honestly it can get a little boring. Like I plotted for several books, and then I was like, you know what, no, we're gonna go back to pantsing and light writing. Brielle actually just had her video today. She's like, I'm never pantsing a book again. I'm like, but pantsing is so much fun.
I saw, are you talking about the one, I think a lot of people in the comments were saying it was like a crash out vid, but in a good way. Like, it was very honest, which I loved.
She had like a very good outlook on it. But like at one point in the video, she was like, I'm never pantsing a book again. I'm like, I totally respect that. That's so valid. But like, I think discovery writing is so essential, and it's the most fun part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, you could not get me to write a full outline for my book ever again. It's just not fun for me.
Yeah,
it sounds like Brandon Sanderson versus Stephen King.
I was just about to say,
it's very much like he pantses, and Brandon Sanderson's like, I'm gonna outline, and it's like, you just gotta figure out what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm
in the middle.
Oh, so Saoirse.
Yeah, like when I outline, I do it like chapter by chapter and like each scene and everything, but I try to leave it very still like open in case I realize there's something else I want to explore, or like something else comes to mind while I'm writing it. Like I want to leave room for that so I don't get I put like a couple sentences for each little scene and just like leave it at that. And then sometimes I go in a different direction. So
fair. Yeah, I feel like that's like a trap you can fall into too, is like outlining too thoroughly. Like that's kind of what screwed me with my chapter 8. Was I started writing it and I was like, oh, I really don't like this one scene, like this one part of it. But I was so resistant to like changing it. And then once I changed it, I was like, oh, I love this so much more. So like, yeah, I get that. Okay, Christina says, I love hearing how different people go about this. I'm always like, ooh, I'm gonna try that in my next whip, experimenting that way. See, you sound like CK. CK's like, I'll try anything. And yeah, so Christina, yeah.
It is fun. I've tried so many different ways and I found a lot of ways that don't work for me. But if I didn't try them out, then I just wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I think it's why the I tried writing and then insert famous author here, videos are so popular. Because experimenting with your writing process is something good. And then you're going, like Ash just said, it's how you find things that work for you.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. She says, yes, I have to do all the plot connection scenes now. Ugh. Yeah, it's like you ate dessert first, right? You ate dessert first and now you've got to eat your fruits and vegetables. Sucks, but gotta do it, I guess.
But I will say Stu has a really good zero draft on her romance. If my zero draft looked like Stu's, I'd be publish me right now.
No, the romance. Yeah, the romance part of it is honestly, I was no notes, honestly.
Ooh.
It's a really good zero draft.
Wow, exciting. Well, Stu, you have a little fan club already. Yeah. Okay, Miles says, when I'm in the brainstorm fun phase, I'll write the exciting scenes that come to me first because they usually can't stand once I get into actually drafting after the brainstorm phase is over. I need to reread this. Hold on. When I'm in the brainstorm.
So I think what they're saying is that after they they're in the brainstorm phase and then they write the fun scenes, but then the fun scenes need to be rewritten once they actually get into drafting. Is that right, Riley?
That makes sense.
That's how I interpreted it. I could be wrong.
No, that makes total sense. And I do feel I feel even with the outline, because I actually used Save the Cat for my outline, because I was at least for this first one, I want to use Save the Cat just to give me that foundation. And so I kind of did the same. I wrote out, the main pivotal scenes and then went back and bridged them in the outline. I just can't imagine doing that in my actual like first draft, you know. But more power to you if you do, you know, like no judgment here at all. I just, yeah. McKenna says, y'all, maybe I just don't want to write dialogue.
That is
most fun.
Yeah, I love dialogue.
dialogue. That's all my current draft is. It is just dialogue.
Yeah.
I think there's this interesting exercise though, where you like write only dialogue in a scene, like no dialogue tags or anything, and then you go back in and add the rest of the bones around it or whatever you want to call it. Which like I end up doing that a lot because I just draft dialogue and it's just back and forth so much, and I have to go put in stuff to make it actually like legible and like blocking.
That makes sense. Okay, Tia says, I'm purposely saving all the fun scenes until later because I'm a masochist. But that's what I think CK was saying about dangling the carrot, you know? I feel like that kind of makes sense. Tia says, how can y'all not go in order? What if you don't know how something got to that point? But that's what I don't know. I feel like that's what an outline's for, if you have an outline. But also, like, you know, Stephen King, like Ash was saying, like, he preaches that he thinks it, like, robs you of your creativity, right? To have an outline and, like, already know where the story's going. And I think, CK, you called that, like, you know, the consequence of each scene or something. How did you call it?
Yeah, the cause and effect.
Yeah, the cause and effect. Yeah. I feel like it does take away from the organic, like, element of that.
Wait, but I have a question, though. I've heard this. I've never read a Stephen King book for reference. I hear it's a joke in the fandom that he doesn't write good endings. Is that true?
I've heard that as well. I have not read a Stephen King book, but I've heard that as well.
Okay. I've just heard that. So maybe we I have a lot of issues with Stephen King as like a writer. Like I read his memoir on writing like 3 times for 3 different classes and then once on my own because I was like, maybe I just hate it because I'm reading it for class. Fun fact, I do not just hate on writing because I was reading it for class. I hate it because I just don't like Stephen King and his philosophies.
Fair.
Anyway.
Fair.
Sorry, hot take.
No, you're good.
Ooh. The only thing I know about Stephen King is his opinions on plotting. I don't know anything else about.
I don't either.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
He's also super racist and super homophobic.
Oh, great.
Yeah, didn't know that.
Anyways, I remember I had this one moment in one of my writing classes in university where we were reading on writing and I was like, you know what I really hate about Stephen King? He keeps using these slurs that he has no right to use as like a straight white man. And like on one page he used both the N slur, like the N word, and the F slur. And I was like, why are you doing that? This is a memoir about writing. How is this relevant?
How did that even get past? Like, aren't there no editors that read it and were like, no, we were gonna take this out? How does that?
I wonder when he wrote that.
Not take his writing advice.
On Writing by Stephen King was published in 2000 originally.
Yeah, that should have been. I mean, because I just thought, well, maybe. Like, to Saoirse's point, I was like, well, maybe they didn't, like, proofread it as thoroughly because maybe he was super, like, well known by that point. But 2000 isn't even, I don't know. I mean, I guess he was big by then, but you should still be double checking that stuff. That's not cool.
Yeah. So I hear, I went on a date this morning as I do. And my date was really into like horror and she was like, oh, I haven't read Stephen King, I don't know where to start, but like all his movies, he's like, Stephen King is just like problematic and he's like all the good movies that are like change his books to not have those elements, apparently he hates those and he likes the ones that like keep those elements and I'm like, that's just ick.
Yeah, ick. Definitely.
Anyways, I should stop bashing on Stephen King. That's not nice of me as a writer.
You can keep going.
You're good. You're good. I mean, I'm definitely glad to know it, you know, because I didn't know much about him aside from what Ash was touching on, which is like the whole him not liking outlines. That's all I knew.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll say this one last thing. I just feel like I get more out of the infographics about the memoir than I do out of the actual memoir because I just read the memoir and it makes me mad. Like if you look at like On Writing Stephen King infographic, I bet it's the first hit, the infographic I'm thinking of. Images. Yeah, the 14 tips from Stephen King's On Writing. Just read that. You don't have to read his memoir. It's fine.
Good tip. Good tip
also,
for the people.
too, like when people are super prescriptive about how you should approach writing, that's just generally not good advice. Like, stay away from it. Like, if someone's telling you this is the only way to do it, and if you do it a different way, that robs your creativity, no, absolutely not. Like, they don't know what they're talking about. I don't care if it's Stephen King or whoever. Like,
Right.
they're just talking about what works for them, and that's fine. But like, you can't put that on everyone. So
Agreed.
I fully agree.
Yeah, I'm loving this moment right now. I feel like there was so much like energy over this topic. I love it.
I get really worked up about a lot of things, actually. You just have to get me going.
That's good. I love it. I love it. Man, we need to... I got to find the right questions to really get you going again, CK. We'll make it happen. Yeah,
it's just so funny because you were like, oh, CK's so mellow. I'm like, really? I feel like I'm never mellow.
I don't know. I thought you were. Maybe I was wrong, but I don't know. I feel like you have a little bit of both.
Unhinged. I feel like I'm constantly unhinged.
But that's like good. And I feel like you can still be like goofy and like laid back, you know? Like, I love that, you know? Okay, let's see. Ian said, whose video was that? The never pantsing again thing. Sorry, I mentally blinked. It was Brielle. What is her, I forget what her handle is, but I'm sure if it's just
Brielle writes.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sure if you type in Brielle, it'll come up really quickly. But yeah, Brielle writes. It's really good. It's a longer one. I think it's like 45 minutes, but it's the whole thing is good. And it's very like vulnerable and relatable, you know?
I was watching and I was like, oh, that's my fear. But I mean, it could happen. And I feel like a year and a half into the writing process and you realize, or that specific project isn't that long to come to the conclusion that that you might need to redraft your story. When I think about people who sometimes it just takes you 7 years to get your first book done. But then once you have that experience of polishing a first book, CK obviously can talk more about this than I can, but I would imagine it makes it easier to do the second book. Maybe not easy, but still like easier once you've gone through the full process of finishing one book. So,
yeah,
for sure. I had a lot of opinions on Brielle's video, and most of them are very positive. I don't want that because sometimes when I say I have a lot of opinions, most of them are bad. A lot of them are very good. I think Brielle is handling the situation great, but like, I don't know. I feel like if you are, I'm trying to decide the best way to phrase this because I also don't know exactly what I want to say about this. But yeah, I think it's just, you have to learn to write a book. And I commend people who like write their first book and decide it's their debut. I would never publish for the first book I've written. And that's me. But like, I don't know. I think Brielle is doing a lot of really good things and I love to see her vulnerability in the community. I think it was really awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And you're not the first person I've heard that from, CK, like how people should probably like write more than one book before they publish, because it does take like practice just to find your voice in writing.
My first book that I published, All Hail the Queen of Hearts, I had written a book and a half before I wrote All Hail the Queen of Hearts. I've talked about, I think I talked about it in my most recent video why I abandoned the first book and a half. But like, even now I look back and I'm like, wow, I am a way better writer than Queen of Hearts. Oops. But like, you have to get your debut out of the way, and like, you just have to get it out of the way. So
yeah,
it's fine.
And I think like the other thing too about that too, like I think readers really love to see when they see their favorite author like grow as a writer too, and it's unavoidable. So like at some point you're just gonna have to pick something to publish, like. And I think like with the first book I ever did a full first draft of, it's shelved. Like I don't know what to do with it. Just because it's like I read it and I'm like, it's got some good stuff to it, but I also feel like it needs to go in a completely different direction. And I don't know what that is, but that's not to say that I can't come back to it at some point and revamp it and then publish it. So like, if you're watching this and you're like, well, shoot, I was planning on publishing like my first ever book that I wrote, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's like, you can take as much time as you need to revise it and make it, you know, whatever your vision is for it. And then, you know, your next book's going to be even better. And that's just part of it. Like, you're not going to ever get to a point where like your first book that you put out is like the best thing ever. And you wouldn't want it to be, right? Like, you want to see that growth. You want to keep growing as a writer. So
yeah, don't peak with your debut, please. Sorry, go ahead. That's all I wanted to say.
Imagine that your first book is your best book. I mean, it could happen, but maybe, hopefully not. I think of Ellie Hazelwood, and I know some people like her writing, some people don't. I really liked her first book, and I don't know if it's the first thing she's ever written. I also know it was fan fiction originally, but I recently read Deep End, and I think the writing in that, while still not perfect, is way better than her first book, The Love Hypothesis. And so, like Saoirse was saying, I actually really enjoyed seeing, I've read a few of her books, like the progress of her writing getting better, but still enjoying the first thing that she put out, which is what made me continue to read her books. So yeah, I think it's cool to just be able to just put something out there that you're okay enough with, and then look back and just kind of be happy with how much you've grown if it's something that you continue to do.
Yeah, I think that's a great take on it. So with that being said, first of all, I'm way behind in the chat. I like totally looked away and looked back, and I've got like a page and a half of chats. But I'm going to blow through these real quick, and then we're going to go to the wheel and do another sprint, because I know CK, you have to hop off soon. So I just like in a bit. So I just want to make
hour and a half.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, in case we get the 1 hour, I want to make sure we have enough time to like do the sprint and then still chat after, just in case. Hopefully that will not happen, but yeah, so I'm going to go through this real quick. Miles says, this is like rapid fire, guys. So just, if you're watching, don't be offended if we blow through it quick. We're just going to go quick, though. That's what brackets are for, Tia. And if you're truly stuck, you stop and write the scene you need to get contextual understanding. Yes, facts. Let's see. Christina says, Tia, same, LOL. I'm like, but what if something happens in a scene that I didn't write yet that totally changes the subtext of the next thing? Yeah, that's what I was saying about, Hannah was saying about it being cumulative. And I think Saoirse was saying the same thing. It's kind of, that's why it's hard to skip over stuff. McKenna was saying, yeah, I think it was Brielle. Margot says, for me, I generally do not know how things get to a point since I have the outline, so I can draft whatever. And for me, knowing how things end is more important than where they begin. True, although I do love a good, strong beginning. So, you know, it's hard, but let's see. Oh, Ian says he did watch that one. Let's see. Oh, and Tia says plotting is so fun. I agree. I loved doing my outline. It was so satisfying. Let's see. Oh, and then Stu says, Tia, no, it's not. Whoops. Let's see. Oh, and Miles says, no, dialogue is hard. I see you, McKenna. Let's see. And then McKenna said, Rin, that's my nightmare. Sorry, I lagged on the chat.
So funny. It's okay. I have my phone up with the chat over here.
So you saw it when it came up.
So funny. I saw it when it came up.
Okay. Let's see. I'm dialogue drafting and project acceptance. It's so fun. Yeah, see, I love dialogue too. Let's see. Margot, dialogue only drafts. Oh, that's interesting. That's a cool concept. I've never heard of that. Doing all the dialogue first and that's it. Oh, Christina said about King. Oh my gosh. Justin, no, you did not miss the stream. We're just gabbing, but we're about to hop into a sprint here in a minute. Let's see. King wrote a fantasy, Eyes of the Dragon. I really enjoyed it. I also enjoyed the Backman books. The other stuff is just so intimidatingly long that I watched the movies instead. Makes sense. I think I looked at Eyes of the Dragon and it had some odd reviews, and so I didn't pick it up. But I also don't really read Stephen King. I don't read a lot of like thriller, horror type stuff. I'm definitely more of a romantasy, fantasy kind of gal. So Justin says, oh, okay, we'll get a little bit done there. Yes, we're gonna try. So Miles said yes, period, Saoirse. I think that was your last thing you said, where you were like, don't let anyone tell you exactly how to write. Miles said, when Evelyn said earlier, CK so chill, I was like, who? But see, that's why I wanted to get, okay, this is another reason why I'm really glad that the group stream is working out because it's so hard to really get to know, like, you do get to know people through YouTube by watching their videos, but I feel like, and honestly, I'm in the Discord a lot too. Like, I just lurk in the Discord, but I read through a lot of it. And it's hard to get to know someone's personality through and through without talking to them, you know? So this is so nice. Margot said, I would call it unhinged, but warm, cozy energy for Rin. Yeah. Yeah, that too.
Accurate.
Yeah. Honestly, perfect description, Margot. Everything
I'm putting
Saoirse.
into my compliments folder, guys.
You got to. Miles says, everything Saoirse says is so real. Yeah, I feel like you all have brought like such great opinions to the table, you know? Like, it's so nice to hear everything. Margot says, for the record, I said I do know how things get to the point because of that line. Whoops, I probably butchered that. I'm blowing through kind of quickly. Tia says, LOL, I see you, Margot. Okay. All right, here we go. We're going to the wheel, everyone. We're caught up.
Okay, here we go. I'm so ready.
Let's see what we get. Oh my goodness.
45 minutes.
Yeah, manifesting a cute 45. I feel like that would actually be like the sweet spot. If anyone wants to put any guesses in the chat, you have 5 seconds to put a guess in the chat. I love McKenna puts these different wheel emojis in the chat.
Oh, that's
and they're
so funny.
always so creative. All right, you got 5 seconds to put them in. 4, 3.
Okay, I'm hoping 35 or 40, I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to do a full 45.
Yeah, I feel like 40, 45. We'll see what happens. All right, here we go.
I love the Ferris wheel emoji.
Oh, hold on. I gotta refresh my spin wheel page. Hold up. Oh my god, hold on. What? Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I hit it too many times. There we go. Oh, thank god. Oh my god, that got so close to the Wheel of Doom. All right, 40 minutes. I feel like that's a good compromise, you know?
I'm
that's
happy with that.
Yeah, I am too, Ash.
I'm
I feel like it's a good sweet spot. So, all right, let me ignore the timer right now. Let me get it set up. Let's see. Cute 40 minutes.
I will probably get up this sprint to get food if I turn my camera on.
No worries. I probably will too. I need to just run to the bathroom real quick. I love how we're all like, okay, so we got a 40, but we're gonna really do like a 30, you know? But yeah, so for those of you watching, if you see our cameras disappear, we are here. Okay, we're just stepping away for a quick 2 minutes here and there, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it might be. All right, here we go, guys. I'll see you all on the other side of 40 minutes.
Bye.
Okay. Can everyone hear me? Oh, hold on. I'm gonna restart this for Ian. It's like his favorite thing about the whole stream is this sound, I feel like.
And sometimes we don't get to hear it.
I know. I was trying to figure out how to like route it into us, but I'd have to like route my desktop audio through a whole separate audio source. I will figure it out eventually, but I was like, for
That's
this,
too much work. It's okay.
yeah, I was like, I think for this stream, everyone will be okay. They'll bear with me, but I feel like that sprint was way better for me. How did you guys feel?
This trip was so exciting. I can't tell you because spoilers, but I got to write a really good scene.
Oh, exciting! It's so good to have a good breakthrough like that.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I will say I sent Miley everything, so Miley just read the thing I wrote.
Oh
and
my gosh.
she loves it. So she says, they said the gasps, I gasped.
Oh my that's a great bit of feedback, I feel like.
It's a great review.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. Miles says,
What about you guys?
oh my god, operator.
Pretty good. I got 633 words, so I'm getting close to my 2,000 for the day. I'm at 1677 total, so
Pretty good.
I'm happy. It's still the very beginning, and I always feel like when you start a new project, it's like, oh, I've only got a total of like 1,000 words for this whole project after you just came from having like 20, 30, 40, 50 plus words. So just easing into something new and excited to see where it goes.
Nice. That's exciting. How did you do, Saoirse?
I got dinner, which was very much needed. And then I finished the scene that I had kind of started last sprint. I read through that and added some little like continuity things just to kind of thread something through. But yeah.
Nice. Very good. So you have this scene and then 2 more, right, Saoirse, that you want to try to do today?
I have, so yeah, in the chapter that I'm on, I have 1 more scene and I'm like, I don't know, maybe halfway through it. And then I have 1 more chapter to get my 5 for the day.
Nice. Okay. Do you think you'll still be able to make it today or yeah? Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's also, it's earlier for me. I'm on the West Coast, so I still got time.
Okay. I was kind of wondering because you had a lot of daylight in your background and I was like, Saoirse must be in a different time zone. Nice. Beth got 589 words, by the way. Yeah, she said 589 and then going to finish up cooking dinner. So that seems like it was successful for her. Sarita said, okay, jazzy elevator music. Oh, and here's Miles says, you guys, in all caps. I think that's about CK's excerpt that they sent over. Yep. And then Miles says, oh. Oh my gosh. Margot says, got through 2 scenes. And then Sarita says, sadly, no writing. You know what? Sometimes it just be like that. You know, you just got to do what you can do. Miles says, 179 words. I was doing more lava problem solving. Lava problem solving?
Oh. I remember seeing something in the Discord about that.
Yeah, now I'm going to have to like go back and look because I'm curious what that is. Sarita said, I had to cook the longest dinner of my life and wrangle children who didn't want to attend tutoring. Totally fine. Absolutely, we get it. So Christina said, yay, I got a good 425 words. That's solid. 425, that's pretty good. Ian says 300 words added to a Substack article. I should be writing my actual book, but writing about my book still counts, I think. We'll say it counts. Are any of you all on Substack? Have you like dabbled in that? Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so curious. Tell me more because I have not ventured into it at all. Like I know nothing about it other than it's really popular with writers right now. So like, what is it about?
Not to be hipster, but I was on Substack before it was cool. Like I've been on Substack for like 2 or 3 years, and I've been watching everyone come to Substack.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is so fun. It's just like it's essentially a newsletter platform, and people like write articles and blogs and newsletters on it. And it's a blast. Saoirse just joined, right? And she does like these amazing oracle and tarot card writing prompts. Do you want to talk about that, Saoirse?
Yeah. Because I was on my channel, I was doing like videos where I would like pull just like some cards from like oracle decks and just like try to come up with a prompt on the spot. But I was like, I think Substack would be a better place for this. We kind of just like write it out. It's a little bit more organized. And I was gonna do like twice a week posts over there, but I think I'm just gonna do once a week. But yeah, if you wanna find my Substack, it should be, I think I posted like a community post with a link to it. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you should be able to find it if you need writing prompts.
Nice. I definitely want to check it out. I'm going to go right after this and go to Substack and totally like creep on some of y'all because I want to know what it's about.
It's so fun.
I also
love it.
joined Substack and I posted 2 really fun stories on there. If
Like
you wanna
full stories?
like flash fiction, like
Okay.
really short. So my goal is to put flash fiction up on Substack, just relate just about different things, not necessarily horror writing, but then do snippets of longer works as well. So like full flash fiction. So super fun stories up there now, if for anyone that wants to take a read.
You definitely should. They're really good.
Ooh. Now I'm even more curious. I really want to check this out now. I've been seeing it and putting it off.
Substack because I didn't realize you were on Substack, so I just followed you.
I don't tell anyone about anything that I do because I get so anxious. Funny. So I'm like, you know what? Let me say it here because I'm not going to say it anywhere else.
I get that so hard. I do a million things. Like people are like constantly surprised. I have like a Substack and I have like 2 podcasts and I don't know what else I do. I do
Instagram and TikTok and YouTube.
Yeah. I'm on like every single social media. I'm technically on Tumblr, but I never post on Tumblr. But I do have a CK Jensen author Tumblr.
Nice.
It's not seen the light of day since 2021, maybe. I don't know.
That's okay. You got to switch it up from time to time to keep it fresh, you know? Keep it exciting,
yeah,
right?
Tumblr is not fresh. But yeah, fun stuff. No,
I remember Tumblr being the thing back in the day when there were like the Galaxy print leggings and stuff. Do any of you remember that? Like,
yes.
Yeah. No, I remember that back in the day. Whoop, 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 whoop. Hold up. Hold on. Sorry. My dog like sits under my desk and while I write, and we have this one little white dog that is like the devil incarnate in this building, and he comes out. They take him out at night and he just, when I tell you, this dog barks all the way out the building, all the way around the courtyard, like, and he just gets my dog all riled up. So I'm sorry, I may have to mute myself while we talk for this next part because my dog just gets so like upset at hearing him. But anyways, McKenna says sent some work emails. Michael, would you stop? Okay. McKenna says sent some work emails and updated paperwork. That's productive. Like, that's partly why I call these productivity sprints and not just writing sprints, because I want people to feel like, you know, sometimes the writing has to wait a little bit if you have other things you have to get done first. So like all productivity is welcome here, you know? Beth said, I'm doing a weekly Substack where I write short stories based on a writing prompt I get in my email. Very cool. I really need to look into this Substack thing. I mean, there's no way I'm going to like post anything because I'm just not good at keeping up with social media. YouTube is like about all I can manage, in all honesty. But I definitely love to like follow people, you know, and like I'm getting better about liking and commenting and stuff. So I'm going to work on that, but I definitely need to check it out. All right. Well, we are actually right at our like 9:30 time frame that we were shooting for. I think it's 9:28. So with that being said, I know we only got 2 sprints in. I feel like I should have given you guys more writing time. I apologize for that. We did a lot more gabbing, but honestly, I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too.
This was so fun.
Oh, good. I'm so glad that it worked out. And again, thank you all so much for coming. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate like that I kind of put out a call in Discord and you all were so quick to like provide community and volunteer and be like, yes, you know, I want to do that. And it's part of what's so magical about authortube, you know, is you have all these wonderful people that are willing to like help and support one another. So I really think this stream, having you all here, made it the stream that it is, you know, and made it fun. So thank you so much for being here. And with that being said, I do have a sign off I do every time. So I say, be brave, be a light, and remember that you're all so, so loved. And I will see everyone on the next stream. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Let's see.